Hello everybody, welcome to an Arkham Horror the card game list video. This one's a little bit spicy, and we're very excited about this. We're going to be talking about our top 7 most wanted investigators in the game. You might not know this about us if you only watch our Arkham Horror content, but we've been playing since Eldritch, but for like us 3. But we've all been playing, like I played 2nd edition a lot, right? Like Bryn and I used to play Arkham 2nd edition every week, like 5 years ago for like 3 years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Sorry, longer than that. Like 8 years ago for 3 years. Now I didn't really think about it. And for me, Arkham Horror 2nd edition was my first board game I ever bought. Actually,
us too.
Betrayal at House on the Hill was my first, and then Arkham Horror. And then I was like, this is incredible. And now I'm like, this game, I still love it, but holy shit, it's also a slog. And then Arkham Horror, the card game, came out, and that was like...
Sorry, go ahead. Finish.
It's just Arkham Horror card game came out, and that was like it. I was like, this is what I wanted.
Yeah, Arkham 2nd edition was like... is my Bryn's first like real board game that our mutual friend, between the 3 of us, Patrick, introduced Bryn and I to. Mm-hmm. And we just had a blast playing it.
Yeah.
Every week.
So
it's so good.
This list is inspired a lot by inside jokes, just stories that came from them. But also, I think it's a good list. It's a pretty fair list. We're going to kind of just like hypothesize, speculate on what these characters might do or what their colors are. But let's dive in. There's no number order for this, so we're just going to have to go. But number 7 is Agatha Crane.
Oh, God.
Psychologist.
Oh, God.
No, I also don't have nice, clean images of all these.
What have you done?
So I slapped together.
You couldn't have looked at the art for the 2nd edition and you picked some miniatures someone made? Anyway, Agatha Crane is the psychologist.
Yeah.
We all agreed that she sounded pretty cool. She's got a master or degrees in psychology and mathematics, apparently. Yeah. She's gonna be probably like a yellow purple character or something like that.
Yeah. In Eldritch, she had a focus on like rituals and tomes, so she's probably gonna like have an ability that has to kind of do with those as well.
I'd be happy to see some sort of like ritual, if she was purple and did some sort of like ritual tribal stuff.
Yeah.
Be down with that.
Yeah, you would never know it from this clip, but her artwork in, I think, Mansions of Madness is like really cool.
But instead we have this meme.
We got this.
Just you wait. This one's probably I don't know. But yeah, her flavor seems cool. The art that she has in the official in Eldritch Horror and Mansions of Madness is really sweet.
I read a bit of her story. We're all like, yeah, she sounds pretty cool.
I also like really want to play like an old woman. I think that'd be really fun, like really fragile, right? But like really smart and really good with the spells and all that. It'll be a good time. Should we go to our number 6?
Absolutely.
Everyone knows him, Mr. 3 Health, Michael McGlen.
He does only have 3 health.
I like the tokens you have on him.
Yeah. So he's gonna be blue-green or green-blue, probably, right?
It's so unprofessional.
Look, I would expect him to be green because he's a criminal.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, he's probably gonna be like green, and then he'll be able to like play.
Like
he'll either be blue and be able to play illicit cards, or he'll be like green and be able to play weapon cards.
Yeah.
Actually, I wouldn't be surprised to see him like blue with illicit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's it's not super true to his character's flavor. I think it makes for a much more interesting deck building.
Mm-hmm.
In Arkham Horror
niche
3rd edition, he gets to start the game with a car that you can run people down with.
Yeah, which this image is from.
I do. So that's kind of neat.
What? No, Travis, I found that this is a professional internet image that I found on the internet. Nothing to worry about.
I recognize those little tentacle tokens. Those are from 3rd edition.
This is just how it looks. This is all official. Don't worry.
This is professional, I promise.
He also, because of with the car, and then also like the wanted condition he can get. I also like the idea of him being able to like move around, kind of like cool, right? Like, I don't just want like a straight up dude that just like kills people. I want like that kind of like mob move or mob connections to come across him. Could be really fun.
Maybe what if instead of like having a signature weakness add to his deck, he has like bonded weaknesses, and when he uses, he has like a lightning bolt ability to move or to gain resource or something like that, and he has to add one of his bonded weaknesses to his deck.
Yeah. Dude, like, I'm honestly surprised there's not some of that design space explored. I think bonded weaknesses would be really good, especially when we get to our number 3.
We should design for this game.
Yeah.
Or even like weaknesses that you choose on deck building, and the ones that you choose, you get to start with extra shit.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Or they determine like which cards you start with.
Yeah.
Or what, like your deck building stuff.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
All right, should we go to number 5? Number 5. You'll all know him when I say the name. I don't even need to say what his subtitle is. He is the man with a plan, the handyman, Wilson Richards. Okay, isn't that a great quality image?
As 90% of the people watching this are like, who the hell is Wilson Richards?
Well, Wilson Richards, let me tell you, he's the handyman.
The handyman can.
He first appeared in Dunwich Horror, and then like not until he was in the Antarctic expansion.
For Eldritch?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's probably gonna be red, right? Like, so.
Yeah.
I can see them shoving him into blue if they need to, but like, yeah, probably red.
Yeah.
He'll be like a combat-focused investigator who does other things sometimes too.
Yeah.
Maybe he can like discard assets for money or something. Or is that maybe that might belong to someone a little further down the line?
Yeah, which we'll get to very soon.
Yeah, but Wilson, we've had some good times with him and his blunderbuss screwing some of our friends over and whatnot.
So a big thing as well for Wilson Richards, a lot of it was us. We were voting for him just because we were like, who the heck is this guy? Like, I always forget about him, to be completely honest. But when I see him, I'm like, oh yeah, this guy, he's probably gonna be good.
No, every time, I forget Wilson Richards too, but then every time someone brings him up, I'm like, yeah, I love that guy.
Yeah. So his special ability is after you resolve a horror check, become focused. In Mansions of Madness 2nd edition.
That sounds red.
Maybe he'll be like, he does better if he gets hurt, kind of like whatever that dude's name is, whose name I can't remember right now.
No,
because
handyman implies like sort of a jack of all trades sort of thing. Maybe he can like.
Oh man, maybe he'll be.
Maybe he could like discard
colorless investigator.
Sorry, what was that, Brent?
Maybe he'll be our next colorless investigator.
Maybe.
I do want to see
like,
more neutrals. I do want to.
I was thinking he could like discard assets from play as a lightning bolt to add their skill tokens to a skill test. That might be cool.
That'd be interesting. Or even just like their cost.
Or like he could discard an asset from play and you get plus X that skill test, where X is the discard asset's cost.
Yeah, I think that would be good, because then you can like get through his items, and like even like you want to probably build around like 2 or 3 cost items, right? So
yeah, and then that feels very like I can do everything like kind of good for a cost, and it's very red, the discard thing.
Yeah. Wilson, I'm excited to play you as a red investigator. But let's go to number 4. You know him because he was curious about gold coins. We got Bob Jenkins.
Bob Jenkins. This is our man who's discarding items for money.
Yeah.
He's probably
a
like
salesman.
So this guy could be like actually kind of anything, right?
Yes.
He could be red, or no, he can't be purple. He could be green because he cares about money. He could be blue because it'd be fine to hit someone with a vacuum cleaner. He could be yellow because he's seeking out the yellow. Actually, like makes the most sense story wise. He's looking for the coins.
I wonder
but
if
I don't
he's going to be like
yellow.
Because we have the Norman Withers deck building, which is probably going to be a cycle, right? Like
yeah.
So like we could have more people who fit in them, and like he could be like a green who turns yellow.
I would be so into that.
Like, that'd be cool. Like, it makes
Man,
sense too,
this
right?
guy's
Like,
art even looks like Ash from the what's it called? The Dead
Evil
thing where he
Dead?
kills
Evil
the
Dead?
zombies.
Yeah, Evil Dead.
Yeah.
That'd
Yeah.
be sick, actually. I'd be super down for that for him. It makes sense too, right? Because he's kind of like a salesperson, right? And then he's just like
Or
starts learning
Seeker
more
turns
about
into
it.
a survivor. I'd be super down for that too.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, Norman Withers already fills that niche, but
Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah, no, I think that I do want to see more of those Norman Withers style building. I think it's very fun because it also like it makes it so you can't get all of the really good level zeros from the color you grow into, which is really you have to like actually choose and make good decisions about your deck building.
Nah, I don't make good decisions.
imagine
about
not having to
deck
pick Stick
building.
the Plan and Flamethrower for every deck and having to think about what you're doing.
Yeah. All right, you guys ready for number 3? Get ready for this picture, by the way.
Oh wait. I'm sorry.
There are some questions that we have been asked many times through history, but none more common than "Where's my par?"
I was not ready for this, Justin. I was not ready for this picture. Is this what took you so long?
Because I found the one the one in Eldritch Horror. He looks too handsome. And I
What's
needed
wrong
to
with
capture
that? You think that
Arkham.
someone who has a mental deficiency can't be handsome in our headcanon?
Yeah. Well, no, just the Arkham Horror 2nd Edition art is like just so much better, right? Like that's Hank Samson to me.
That is Hank Samson. No, you're right.
Yeah.
Man,
Yeah, we were talking like he's in every game. He's had some sort of ability that allows him to mitigate horror or brain checks in favor of punch tests. And we were thinking maybe he's got 1,000,000 health and he can take brain damage as heart damage instead. Maybe he can maybe he's only got one brain. He can use his punch instead of his brain once per round or something like that.
Yep.
Or
like
ideas.
only on treachery tests or
Yeah.
whatever. I would like to see him as the red character who turns into the blue character.
Oh, that's a good idea.
That would be nice.
That'd be
I
really-
do think we can all agree he's going to be a blue character in some capacity.
Yeah,
I agree,
Like
yeah.
he's gonna
He has
punch
to.
dudes,
Yeah.
hit him with a hammer or whatever.
Yeah. Sledgehammer.
Yeah,
I want his.
maybe he's the melee tribal guy.
Yeah. I want
I bet that his cycle
um,
will be the one we get the sledgehammer with.
Yeah.
I'm calling
yeah,
it right now.
Definitely. I want his personal card to be his dad. And then when we were going before, I wanted his weakness to be a card that his dad isn't in his deck, but then when he gets his weakness, he gets to put it into play. When he completes it, he finds his dad. And then his dad is a super sweet reward to make up for all the time that you needed to do that. It's beautiful.
I think that's like a little bit of poor game design personally. I like it flavorfully, but I think that it could be
Yeah, but
just like either you build your deck to be good without par, and then like why would you complete it?
it's fair.
Or like you're reliant on finding it, in which case why do you have a weakness?
Yeah, that's fair. But what if it starts in play? It's a permanent weakness that has an effect, and then you just have to do it like a little mini quest. And then
Yeah, that might be cool actually.
Paul
That
comes
makes
with,
you like subpar things that that aren't fighting.
Yeah.
Par.
Oh, he did it.
Oh,
All right, let's get to number 2, who is this is Bryn, the Bryn special. There's a lot of history with this guy. None other than George Barnaby, who I believe is the lawyer.
Oh man, yeah, he's a lawyer.
shit. Holy shit! The lawyer is our second most anticipated character. Oh my god.
Yeah, I've played this guy a lot playing Eldritch Horror.
And every time?
single time, I end up with a despair condition, and I'm like, I'm going to Antarctica to fix something there, and I'm probably not coming back.
And then you die on a boat in the middle of
And
the
then,
ocean.
I
Every time.
die in the middle of the ocean. Every single time.
No, I can picture the exact space that happens on.
Yeah, it's the one right between Africa and Australia. That's the Bryn space where he dies. It's George
Yeah.
Barnaby.
No, George Barnaby. Maybe he's our yellow character who turns green,
Yep.
or Yeah, that makes sense.
Or just the yellow character who can play green cards.
Yeah.
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 We kind of got Trish for that. Not Trish.
I'm just trying to see this
Mandy.
George Barnaby, see if there's any abilities.
And I'm excited for George. He ranked highly in Mouse because he's probably going to be yellow. I like yellow characters.
I'm excited to play him because I can die on him and that's what I expected.
Yeah.
You know what,
I mean,
Brendan, when
Dexter,
this guy comes out,
right?
if he's yellow, you get to play the Seeker for the run.
It's true.
That's
yeah.
you.
Yeah,
And
there's
then
like
you
all
get
the
to play a different
characters
character
like,
too
we
at some
log
point.
into.
Yeah, and then I get to play a different one of the new characters.
Yeah. So we'll be real. This really is a top 6 list, but we agree we had one that was our number 1 that we didn't want to like include. So George Barnaby is like the organic number 1, right? Like not including our bias for who's next on our list.
Do you guys just want to do a countdown where we all say it at the same time?
So yeah, let's try to do a countdown at the distance. Travis, you count.
Okay. It's gonna be like after 1, not
Okay.
on 1. Okay, so 3, 2, 1. Charlie Kane.
Vampire Hunter.
It's him.
Dude.
Yeah, it's Charlie Kane.
It's all
He's
an
a-
in-joke.
he's
Like
a
Charlie
vampire
Kane, I
hunter.
mean, like he's so strong in Eldritch Horror, which made it so that we'd always pick him, which is kind of like built so much
Yeah.
story for him.
Well, yeah, it's also partially that, like, because he can buy assets so good, he could be good at anything, and then you're like, how would it be funny if a politician did, like, stupid things,
Yeah.
like kill vampires or wrestle
Yeah,
elephants in the streets of San
vampire-
Francisco, and you're
The
like,
vampire
yeah.
killing one was was that second edition?
Probably.
I got a feeling like it was in second edition and we needed to kill a fire vampire and there was like a dynamite.
That does sound like second edition. Elephants was Eldritch, and
Elephants,
vampires
they
was
were
second.
wrestling elephants in exchange for control of the city.
Yeah, that's Eldritch, San Francisco.
Eldritch. Yeah.
You know, we've actually had like a lot of discussion, not just on the channel, but also in private about what we think Charlie Kane's gonna do.
Yeah.
I think we have two general schools of thought. We have either he's like neutral, and he can play a bunch of allies and services, or he can play like a limited number of allies from any color sort of deal, or he's going to be green. I think the green is more likely.
You know,
Personally.
I think he's going to be blue and deal extra damage to vampires.
I know, like, the reason what
Hard
I
to disagree.
optimally want for Charlie Kane is a bit different. I want Charlie to be a multiplayer-focused investigator that they sell, like, as an extra one in a pack or, like, as his own little thing. And I want him to have to do with the experience mechanic, where he can, like, use experience to, like, help other people and he gets a bonus from it or something. Like, I want, like, that Charlie Kane support, because he could buy items for anybody in Arkham, in Eldritch, sorry, and I kind of want that flavor to come across with it.
Well, you could have that too. You could have like as a reaction the first time up. So like theoretically, well, him with he's rogue, he can play allies level 0 to 3 from any color. And you have like reaction the first time each round, or like when a player on your space plays an ally, they pay 2 less for him, limit once per round.
And,
sort of deal.
And like the reason like I don't want him to play with the ally space, even though he did in Arkham Horror 2nd Edition, is because that's what Leo does, right? Like that's Leo's space.
Kinda.
So I definitely don't think that that's an unlikely route for him to take, or even just one where you can. I saw when I was looking for these cards, someone made a custom Charlie Kane, which he started with extra resources, and he could spend resources for other players on his space.
I like that aspect a lot more. I don't really like the experience thing. I don't think that. So the experience thing either is like it's powerful enough to offset him being weaker in game, and like not being a full person. And it's going to be very, very difficult for them to balance him providing a benefit that's worth it while also like being
without being overpowered.
Sort of detrimental during the actual game, right?
Yeah.
It puts without being like, well, you're playing with 4 people, you'd be stupid not to have one person play Charlie Kane and like not really participate in the game just so that the other people get the benefit.
That's pretty much what happens in Eldritch Horror, though. Our Charlie Kane just buys everyone presents.
Yeah, but we have a good time with it because we make our own game. That's a big part of how we play Eldritch and Arkham Second Edition is like we role play and we make our own story.
Yeah. Yeah, no,
but for
I
people who are
definitely
more focused on the gameplay itself, it's less fun.
I definitely do respect the fact that like that design space for my dream Charlie Kane is a hard one to explore, but like I hope I definitely want him something to do. I want him to be a multiplayer investigator. I think anything else would be a disservice to Charlie.
Yeah, he could also be like that Charles Ross Esquire.
Yep.
Who can he can buy items for other people out of other people's hands for them when they're on his space.
Yeah.
You could also do something a little more niche where he's like, so it's gonna be kind of a little bit of sacrilege, but what if Charlie Kane's like, he's like a guardian who can parlay with humanoid enemies and put them into the victory display for like half an experience.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That could kind of do what you're thinking of and be like, he pays them off and they help him later.
Yeah. He's definitely going to be, if he's a color, he's going to be green. I think he's going to be green, red, or blue, red. Because
I wouldn't be surprised to see him be like green, blue a little bit.
The thing is, like, I know the green's there, but I feel like he's less of like the kind of like the shifty rogue that a lot of those rogues are. Not to say, Bryn, that your characters are shifty, but they're shifty.
He's more like a Preston Fairmont rogue.
Yeah.
I think he's more like green blue, where he does things like they're a little bit shifty from time to time legally. They're like a little bit less than legal, but at the same time he does it to help his own benefactors and stuff, right?
Like killing vampires to protect.
Yeah, like he's a little bit of a guardian to the people who he cares about and who are willing to help him. I can see the survivor aspect of it too, but I'm a little bit less sold on that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I'm very curious to see what... The thing is, though, like, I think he's not purple. Like, he could even be yellow.
He can't be purple, absolutely not. I don't think he can be yellow either.
He's not a magic character. He can't be purple.
No,
I don't think he's yellow either. He's got no reason to, like, look for anything. He's got no reason to seek out anything. Well, I mean, he's just after money.
In his lore in Eldritch Horror, he is starting to look into problems that are happening in the city that are a bit cultish, right? So it's kind of like the same thing as Bob Jenkins, right?
A little bit, but I still don't think... He doesn't do that with, like, the motivation. He doesn't do it with, like, the altruistic motivation that a lot of yellow characters do, where they do it for the pursuit of knowledge or whatever. Mm-hmm. If he is doing it, he's doing it to protect his... Charlie Kane's a very selfish character from what I remember. He's doing it to... Or maybe I'm just projecting from our current politicians, but whatever. He's just doing it to, preserve his own social status, kind of.
I'm looking it up right now, just to even see if I was wrong.
I think 15 minutes of it is us talking about Charlie.
Yeah. I think reading the story for second edition and even Mansions of Madness definitely does get him out of yellow for me.
Yeah, like, I think they could, like, if they really, really wanted to spin him into yellow, they could, but I think that's a little bit disingenuous to his character.
Yeah.
What they've established so far. So.
Yeah, no, I think the right thing that's probably going to happen is he's going to be some sort of build in, like, blue-green, where he can buy blue base, so he can spend his money on other people's, because that's like a blue thing. I know yellow does it too, but it is also works for blue. And then he can take allies of every color, of like level 0 to like 0, right? Because
no, I'd be down with that. Because he is like roguish. He doesn't fit most of the rogue archetype.
Yeah, it's true.
he would absolutely associate with the people who are rogues, but he isn't like. Maybe he's like our level green who dips into blue for later levels.
Mm-hmm.
He can pay for services like small favor and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah, we don't have anyone who's service tribal, do we?
Nope.
That could be Charlie. Man, this is just us talking about Charlie. But I mean, like, Charlie is like, all these other ones, it's like, yeah, this guy's
well,
gonna do
anyone
this.
who opened this video knew what to expect.
Yeah. But like most of them, like, yeah, Michael McGlen's gonna shoot people. Like Bob Jenkins and Bob Jenkins and Charlie Kane are like interesting ones to me to see what they're gonna do.
Yeah, no, I'm actually genuinely hyped for Bob Jenkins.
Yeah, me
like
too.
Aside from the meme of Charlie Kane, like my personal one that I'm excited for is Bob Jenkins. But bro, what do you think about Charlie Kane? What do you think about this color scenario thing?
Yeah, I mean, like I think he's almost definitely gonna have access to green cards in some capacity.
Mm-hmm.
He will. There's no way he has purple cards.
Watch, they just throw a
Purple's
photo
out of the
of
question.
Purple, he's purple yellow, and we're like, what?
Unless they're like rewriting his character, which they could do.
They could. Like he is kind of like a.
Or if they expand his story where he like makes a deal with the cultists or something like that.
Yeah.
Like I would be down with that a little bit.
Yeah, as long as they do this god justice. Anyway, that's enough about this. Why don't you guys, anyone watching, if you want to see any list videos, as you can now see, we'll do freaking anything. So just let us know what you want to see. We will make sure it is at least somewhat related to Arkham Horror, the card game. Thanks for watching, everybody. You guys have a good one. We love you, and as always.
Also, wait, let us know which most wanted investigators you want.
And why is it Charlie Kane? We expect a 300-word essay on this.
You can talk about other people. You have to talk about Charlie first.
Yes. Bye, everybody.